Phone off.
Did something happen? Are we live? Oh, there's Rick. He wasn't sure if he would be able to come. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour. I'm Bethany. This is Mark.
Hi, everybody.
We're having some, what would we call them, like technological difficulties? Well, I am. Mark is not. That's why I look silly, because I was supposed to be on a different computer. But, you know, whatever. So, okay. So
I don't know. Can Rick tell what I did for him? Look, Rick, I got a webcam just for you.
Rick, literally just for you, so that you didn't complain about things being backwards. That's how much Mark loves you. Hi, Joseph. Oh, Joseph stole Rick's movie. Said boom.
Oh, he stole Rick Boom's boom.
Oh, you know what? They're on 2 different platforms, so I think they might have been first each.
Oh, there you go.
I like it. Jeff! Hi, Jeff! I'm like honored. I don't think I've ever seen Jeff in one of these. Unless
he's here just to make fun of us. He's here just to make fun of us.
Well, he should, because I mean, Jeff knows all about my necklaces. Having big issues tonight. Where I don't see Kim. Anyway, I'm sure she's there if Jeff says hi to her. Okay, cool. So yeah, what are we talking about? First, is there anybody who has a question? Just shoot them off, because we didn't really plan much. We wanted to talk about, here's what I figured, right? We're just kind of really here to like get drunk and have a good time. At least that's why I'm here, you know?
Exactly.
Catch up with my friends. I haven't seen everybody. So what's new in the world? So Mark and I were saying that we should probably talk about a few kind of interesting things. I love how Jeff said hi to us last. Hi, Jeff. Love you. Okay, so what do we think about this whole hidden city ticketing fiasco that's happening, where like American all of a sudden is now going after people the way United was, right?
Yeah, it's it was on, I think it was on Reddit. Somebody posted and Danny wrote it up on Miles to Memories, but a guy had to pay up for 52 cases of hidden city ticketing. Like, that's a lot. I mean, you're kind of asking for it, but
yeah.
So they busted him, and I think they wanted him to pay $50, around $50 or $2,500 for the 52 times, which doesn't seem that bad. I'm sure he came out way ahead of $2,500, but it's still a question of like, can they even legit ask for this? Because you buy a ticket, you can do whatever you want. And I don't think the airlines have ever won this in court in other countries or the US. Basically, they threaten to close down your account. So
right, I think that's like the one thing they can do.
Yeah. So I don't know legally, like, I don't think they have any grounds, because you bought the ticket. You can do, like, if you go to a concert and you leave halfway through, they're not going to be like, "Hey, you owe us money," you know? Like,
well, now hold on. Have you ever gotten a fee for leaving a hotel early? Okay, so I got my first one ever last year, and I totally forgot to call and complain about it. Of course. So we went to Hard Rock in Atlantic City, and it's not that nice. So we left and went somewhere else, aka the Borgata. And like 2 weeks later, I'm going through my account, and I'm like, wait, wasn't that whole thing comped? They charged $50 for leaving before the end of the night. Like, first of all, how did they even know? Because it's not like they do turn down service at Hard Rock.
Oh, so you didn't check out or anything?
No, we just left.
Oh.
And so,
Yeah.
What is it called? It's called like an early departure fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never gotten that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like, how do they even really know? Like, how do you know I left early just because none of my stuff is there? Maybe I didn't bring stuff.
I did that. We were in Vegas once, and I had my host hook up like 2 rooms, and we had a suite, and then we had like a connecting room to our friends. And we were leaving after like 2 days, but I booked it for 5 days. So I was like, "Hey, here's the key to our room. If you guys want to switch over the sheets or to the suite, have them change the sheets and all that or whatever." So I'm just waiting for my host to be like, "Hey, why weren't you like gambling anymore the next 3 days?" So he sent me a thing. He's like, "Was everything all right with your last trip?" I'm like, "Yeah, everything was great, man. Let me send you an Amazon gift card."
Wait, you say your host an Amazon gift card? That's like,
I did that time. I was like, "Hey, can I send you something for thank you?" He's like, "Yeah, I they can send me gift cards. That's what I can accept." So I was like, "Okay," because he did hook up 2 rooms for 5 nights. I only used it for like 2 nights, but I still was like, "I'll give you this. Then it'll get you off my case." But
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't like intentional, so that's nice, I think. Yeah, Patrick says that situation is absolutely ridiculous. Left the hotel early, get real, fight that to the death. Listen, I meant to. It's just that
Bethany always means to, and then never does it.
Yeah.
On everything.
Yeah. That's like my life story, pretty much. Oh, you know what? I forgot that we're live, so I'm like playing with my hair, stupid. I have to go leave it for a little while. I
think it looks good up. Looks good up. Now, has player 2 gone out and got a haircut yet? Because I still have not got a haircut. I feel like it would be so weird. Like, what was did he give you like you wear like a mask and then you like pull it off when they're doing your ears, or like what?
Oh, that's a good point, because guys get it like all up here. Oh, hi, Jason, Presh, Sal, everyone's here. Wait, what did Joseph say? So here's the thing. Mark, can you see the comments?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you read Joseph's, because my ring light is blocking?
He says he must have a few 100,000 in advantage miles. I'd pay up if it were at risk. Yeah, he was like an executive platinum. Had a whole bunch of miles. I think he was like, it was an extensive amount, like towards 1 million, something like that, if I remember right. So he has to pay it. But like at that point, I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, why are you attaching your AA number when you're doing these skip lag? I know we're all like greedy for miles and segments and all that, but if you're doing this, like, do it on the down low without. I mean, they can attach your number to your name at some point, I'm sure, if you do it enough. But if you're going to do it, if the savings are big enough, you're going to make more by doing the skip lag than you are in getting redeemable miles. So don't attach your frequent flyer number to it.
Yeah, that's a really interesting choice. Well, I guess maybe he was thinking, I've done it 50 times and never got called out for it, or I've done it 10 times, never got called out for it. What bothers me about that is, okay, so I did that once intentionally, only once, because I'm like scared of getting shut down because of all the miles and stuff.
Yeah.
So my plan was to go to the desk and be like, oh, I'm feeling really sick. So I made up this whole story. I was pregnant. I had an ear infection. So I go up to the counter at LaGuardia and I'm like, hi, listen, I'm pregnant. I have an ear infection. I was like, my cousin lives here. She's in Queens. She can come pick me up and take me to the doctor. And then I can book my second leg tomorrow. And and the woman was like, so you don't want to take your flight? I was like, no. She was like, okay, so just leave. I was like, oh, but I thought you weren't allowed to do that. She was like, are you asking me to book you a new flight, or are you just not taking your flight? And I was like, I just want to not take the flight. And she was like, yeah, you can just go. And I was like, okay. Like, she'd never even heard of that situation before. So I was like, maybe you're safe on American if you do that. I don't know. Apparently not.
Yeah, I don't think, like, most of the time they're not going to care. So it's crazy. But now back to like the hotel, when you're talking about like getting the early checkout fee or whatever. When we were in Brussels, we were there. We were supposed to stay there 2 nights. And after the first night, we're like, this place kind of sucks. So
where was it? You have to say where you were.
Oh, we were in Brussels. We were just like after one day we had seen everything. So we were at the Hilton there. Okay. I forget the name of it, but
Hilton.
We were like, yeah, whatever the nicer Hilton is there. But I booked it on points, and at like 5 o'clock we had tried to get back to Amsterdam a day early because we wanted to go back to Amsterdam. So we're looking for train tickets, changing them. It was way too much. Flights were too much. We did BlaBlaCar, which was very interesting. So we ended up doing that, and I went to the desk. I was like, "Hey, we're checking out." And she's like, "Oh, it's like 5 p.m." And she's like, "Oh, were you not happy with your stay?" I'm like, "Yeah, we just want to go back to Amsterdam." So the hotel was fine. She's like, "Oh, well, let me get you your points back." And I was like, "What?" Like,
what? Okay. And I'm getting charged. Meanwhile, you know why? Because Mark is so ridiculously nice that people just like want to help him for some reason, unless you're a pit boss.
But but the funny thing is, like, she said it. She's like, I'm gonna go talk to the manager. She talked to the manager. She comes back. She's like, yeah, we'll take care of you because diamond status and all that overseas. But I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting any of that.
Wow.
Of course, the points never posted, so I had to like email the GM and I was like, hey, you guys owe me these points. He's like, yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. So then I went through their Hilton's Twitter team and I was like, here's the email. I want my points, and they posted them like a couple minutes later. So
interesting.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go get bored in Brussels, that's a good hotel to stay at.
The Hilton something, yeah. Wow, that's really nice of them. I would never expect that ever.
No, I didn't expect it. I was just like, oh, I'm eating tonight, and then, whatever, it's just part of the cost of doing business and getting out of here. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Okay, so you love Amsterdam. Oh wait, did our flights get canceled?
Oh yeah, because we booked the mistake fare to,
South Africa.
If Spencer, there are no mistake fares. The very cheap business class from Mexico to Cape Town, and they canceled all the flights up until January because the borders closed. So they just canceled everybody's flight that has it until January. Ours are in February, which I got an email from Expedia that said, your flights have changed. If you want to cancel, let us know. But I went and checked, and everything is exactly the same. So I don't know what that email was about.
Oh, good. I was like, I wasn't sure if they had gotten canceled, and I was like, you know what? I'll just wait till happy hour to ask him because I didn't feel like typing at the moment.
Yeah, so I mean, unless there's something coming down the pipeline I don't know about, but yeah, we still don't have flights return. I'm not booking anything until like
I agree.
They open up or something because I don't want to have to fight for compensation and stuff. But the cool thing is Ryan, who writes for Miles to Memories, his flight was canceled in December. He had a December flight.
Okay.
And they canceled it, and they're letting him rebook on a future flight without paying the difference in fare.
Wow.
Yes. So.
Okay, so they're not canceling hours.
No.
You know what? They wouldn't be able to lose the cash at this point.
Well, they could. I mean, they could force a voucher down our throats, but because it's not. We're starting in Mexico, so there's no DOT regulation.
Right. Well,
so they can kind of do whatever they want.
DOT would still urge them to follow the policy. So.
I think our best bet would be like a chargeback with Chase or something like that, or whoever you booked it with. But yeah, in Brazil, they've made the rules where like they don't have to give anything back. They can only they're allowed to give vouchers for like up to 2 years, or they don't have to give a refund for over a year or something. Some crazy rules that they've made to try to keep them solvent. So if they're willing to let us rebook without an additional cost, that's pretty crazy. I'll take that. So
yeah, I mean, that's fine by me, especially for what we paid. Like I don't even.
Yeah, it was like $300.
Yeah.
30 hours in business class for $300. Like.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. So I was looking at the Iberia flights, the like half off, because I have like 100,000 Avios that I like have never used. I bought them all through Groupon, by the way.
Of course.
I thought I was so cool when I found that. It was like a couple of years ago. And I was like, oh my God, I am so freaking cool that I figured this out.
And then you never used them.
No, not yet, but I will. I mean, it's just that I had executive platinum with AA for a while. So I was like just crediting everything to AA to get my, what is it, like 12 miles per dollar on spend. So, and then I was going after a Delta status match. So I just like haven't had the chance. But obviously when I saw the Iberia deal, I was like, okay, well, we should do that. But I wasn't able to find anything like to us, you know, like it was, because I know you don't want to stop too many times. That was sort of the problem.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to just be like flying. We want to like stop somewhere, have fun, and then fly home.
Yeah. Yeah, because like 30, the flights there, it's like 30 hours. I mean, there's a little bit of a layover in Brazil for like 8 hours or something, but I didn't want to do like a 30-hour flight back with connections and stuff. Which if we wanted to fly the Q suites, that's what you'd like land and have like an hour layover and then get back on. And it's like, no, it's not what I want to do. So go somewhere cool. If anybody has any good suggestions. I know we talked about Lisbon.
Mm-hmm.
Ibiza. Ibiza.
I feel like that's the one place we can go and not get arrested for sure. Because I'm not going to lie. I am definitely worried that if it's just me and you, we're going to get arrested.
That's a story, though. It's worth a write-up, right?
It's true. Yeah. And I guess I am attached to a lawyer, so.
Real estate.
I don't think I'll be able to help us, but you might know somebody. I might know a few people too, so. From like law school, I'll be like calling people like, hey, didn't you do criminal law?
Can you come to
arrested? That would be like,
can you come to the Middle East and get us out of this?
What?
Can you come to the Middle East and help us out, please? Fly over.
Yeah, I'll fly them first class. So for most people, it would probably be like their first class experience ever.
Oh man! Oh, Sean was telling me a story the other day of which we're going to tell on a future. I think he wants to tell on a podcast, so I'll just tease it. I won't really tell it. Okay. But he got detained at a Vegas casino when he was 6. So.
Yeah, that's a story. I actually can't wait to hear that one. Okay, so now you guys know to look out for the Miles to Memories podcast because you're going to be able to hear that story.
I was like, what? involves a nickel slots and a 6-year-old. So.
Well, I guess like I don't know. At 6, like I definitely walked out of my dog is scratching. This is all messed up tonight. Anyway, this is why we usually edit. So yeah, when I was 6, I definitely walked out of the supermarket with like extra candy in my pockets that I wasn't supposed to have. And I'll never forget. One time I fessed up to it. And my dad told me that God was going to strike me down and I had to go back and apologize and get back to Starburst. I still don't like Starburst to this day.
I did, I think I was like 7 or 8 and there was this place, like, you remember the old tubs of beef jerky where you like lift up the tin and you just pull one out, like completely unsanitary? But there was like this one like bar restaurant we'd always go to, and they had good beef jerky like up by the. I don't know why they sold beef jerky by the cash register, but they did. So I noticed one where they were like both. There was 2 stuck together, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna grab that one." So I get out and I was like, "Hey, Dad, here, you want one?" Like I came with 2, and he was like, "You did that on purpose. Take it back there right now."
Wait, did you have to go back and be like, "You had 2 beef jerky stuck together"?
He made me go back and I had to offer to pay for the extra one, and she's like, "Honey, you're fine. Here, you keep it." And then she gave me like 3 other things to take.
Because she felt so bad.
I was probably like crying.
I would have felt bad for you too. I mean, they were stuck together. It's like
yeah, I didn't do it on purpose though. I knew what I was doing, so I was like, okay.
So you learned a lesson. Yeah, but it's like, okay, when you go to the pizza place, like I pick out my slice. I'm like, I want that slice because it's like the biggest one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sometimes you get rewarded. Like one time we were at Home Depot and Connor, when he was like 2 or 3, he was sitting in the front of the cart, you know, like where you usually put like your bread or something, but for people that have children, you put the little child there. So we were like at Home Depot and I was checking out in the self-checkout lanes and he just like grabbed a cookie and I didn't realize it. And we get out of the parking lot and he's like, "Yeah, let's eat this." I did not make him go back. So
yeah, I mean,
we ate it in the car.
That's awesome. Did you tell him, like, you know, just so you know in the future you can get in trouble for this?
No. He didn't know what was going on. Like one time,
I think that's me. I'm hoping that's why my dad said that to me. You know what I mean? Like basically to scare me into not doing it again. I think it worked, but I honestly think it was more because I was like so embarrassed that I had to go back and be like, I stole this.
No, another time we were in a store and he like grabbed something off the shelf and put it in Kirsten's like bag. And we didn't realize it till later. It was like a hat or something. And we're like later on, and we get through the mall. We ended up taking that back, but He's like a little klepto as like a 3-year-old walking around just
That's
stealing.
awesome. I need to get one of those so that I can like bring them into the expensive store.
I need to get one of those. Hey, can I borrow your child for the day? I want to go steal some DVDs or something.
Yeah, right. It's like when you bring like an old person. I feel like old people do it just because they know they can, and they totally get away with it.
Yeah, like who's gonna go tackle an 80-year-old man?
Yeah.
Like,
Same thing, I think, right? You probably have to like take care of them the same way. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But okay, so have you booked any travel? You're just like waiting?
I mean, I've started to look into stuff like for next summer. So I've started, but it seems like all these cash deals are going on right now, crazy. But yet, when you book out towards the summer, it's like everything's insanely priced. Like I can't find any saver space for flights in like June or July because I looked to rebook our Hawaii trip, or even like maybe going to Europe and stuff. We've talked about going to St. John's, Newfoundland. So all these different things.
You too. Sorry
Hey,
to interrupt you, but I got excited. Okay.
Double duty, daddy. So like I've been looking at all these various things and I can't find any space. So I've kind of given up for the time being. Have you? I know you've been looking at like random stuff.
I can't stop because like, okay, first of all, I can't even sleep. Like I need to get out of my house. I need to travel. It's like what my biological clock is set to do. You know what I mean? So like at this point, like I told you, like Mark knows from being in our group Slack, I wake up like every morning at like 4 a.m. and I'm like sending messages. And then by like 2 p.m. I'm like ready to go to sleep because I've had a full day at this point. I posted about an Amex offer the other day at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wyndham. That's how freaking bored I was.
No, I think it was Best Western.
That was Best Western. Oh,
Even worse. Even worse. Wyndham is like the Ritz compared to Best Western.
The same difference to me. I mean,
that's a program only Benji cares about. Only Benji cares about Best Western.
I know. I was thinking to myself, I should send this to Benji.
Oh, you know, he scrubbed all his cars to make sure he had it. He's like, I'm doing this. Man, I haven't seen the best. I think the last time I stayed in a Best Western, I was like 24, 25, and it was like a work thing. Like Priceline like gave me that as my option, but I know there's a couple sweet spots there. I mean, who am I to say? I just signed up for Choice, so
yeah,
I'm
kind of. Rick said he says as a Choice hotel guy. That's right, Rick.
Hey, you can get into the Atlantis using Choice points, so that's what I'm going with. Rick said, Bougie, don't do Hilton. Yeah, the Hilton Place or whatever it's called is how she likes to say.
Hilton Garden Inn. Oh, that might actually be a real place.
That is a real, but you say Hilton Garden Place.
I mean, honestly, if it serves breakfast, I don't want to go there. Unless it's. Oh, I actually took Han. What was the breakfast we went to in Macau? It was amazing. I think it was like the St. Regis buffet breakfast in Macau. If you ever get the opportunity, go there. But first, go to the Four Seasons buffet. It was the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. I was just
going to ask you, like, what's the best like comp breakfast you've ever gotten from like Status or whatever?
Oh yeah, it was 100% that. Except that I didn't have Status because it's the Four Seasons.
Was it included in the room rate, or did you have to pay for it?
Well, okay, so here's what happened. In typical bougie fashion, I showed up to the hotel a day early for my reservation.
You know, all those time changes and stuff.
I got the day wrong. I totally got the day wrong.
I bet you that happens like every single day to them, though. I think it happens every single day. People book like the wrong day or show up. At least you're a day early. Like if you're a day late for your flight because of all this stuff.
I never honestly thought. I just figured like, oh, that's like what I would do because it's like so me, like on this last group trip we took, I never booked a flight to like the next city because I guess I thought maybe we were driving or I remember the whole group like looked at me like, how did you think we were getting to, I think it was Budapest? And I was like, that's a really good question. I don't know, but in my defense, one other person did not book a flight either. So it wasn't just me, but he was the only non-travel person.
Mm.
I'm bad at geography though, so that could have something to do with it. But anyway, so I got to the Four Seasons a day early, and they apologized to me. Yes. They gave me a free massage, which I didn't do because I hate massages.
Did they say there's a dude in there?
Yeah, exactly. They said there's a gordo man in there. For anybody who has no idea what we're talking about, watch what they did to me at what hotel was that? Andas?
Yeah, Andas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last happy hour before this one. Some dude that I thought was maybe gonna like assault me ended up calling me a fat man. So I still don't want to go back to Costa Rica.
I would say.
So, yeah. Go ahead.
Jeff says we only told you 10 times to book a flight. I would say
definitely told other people.
What's the restaurant at Jeff? What's the restaurant at Park Hyatt in DC? Like the Blue Duck or something? Blue Duck. That breakfast. If you are a Hyatt globalist, like I didn't like the hotel. I thought the hotel was kind of trashy for a park place. Like it's a little bit beat up, and the location is not great. It's like it's surrounded by nice hotels for like diplomats and stuff, and you know that type of thing. But it's kind of like in a neighborhood. There's not much going on around it. But yeah, Blue Duck Tavern like is an experience. You know, like Michelin star restaurant for breakfast. So I was like, my one good buddy is a chef and stuff, and I was like, you would appreciate this. We should go to DC and stay here just so you can experience it or whatever. Like I'd go back to DC. I'd stay there even though I didn't like the hotel. I didn't like the location. I'd stay there just to like have everybody experience the breakfast because like you just notice the service, like the food's good, really good. Everything's cooked perfectly. Like the eggs are perfection. Everything, like it looks like when you take a photo for Instagram and they cook like 47 eggs to get that one photo. Like that's what it looks like when they bring it out. But the service, like they don't ever reach over you. They stand to your side. Like all these little details that you notice. And then if you ask for something that's not on the menu, they'll probably do it for you. Like Sean just chimed in.
I was just about to say, whoa, we have a celebrity sighting.
So Sean, somebody had told him about I think it was like some type of hash that was supposed to be really good. So it wasn't on the menu. And he's like, hey, I heard this is really good. Can you guys make it? And he's like, the waiter's like, I'll go ask, but I'm pretty sure we can do it. And they brought it out and I think he got like $125 worth of breakfast and stuff. So you can really go like all out on it. Dude, you should just start drinking at breakfast. Just start drinking at breakfast.
I mean, well, why not? Like you're on vacation.
Well, that was a work function, but I started drinking anyway.
Okay. Is that when you met Winnie?
Yeah, it was at Cardcon. So
Cardcon.
That's when I met Jeff too. No, was it?
Really?
Yeah, it was when I met Jeff. Yeah, I met Jeff there, and then we hung out in Chicago too. But yeah, I think that was when he took me to the abandoned parking lot brewery, which is still like one of my favorite things ever. Because so Cardcon is like this thing for like industry people to meet up with credit card companies and stuff. A lot of bloggers, websites go there. A lot of finance thing. It's usually right after FinCon, but now they're like two separate things. They used to be pretty much attached. So we were there, and they had this cool thing at the Washington National Stadium, which Bethany was supposed to go. That's the reason. That's the reason Jeff went, because you said you were going, and then you didn't show up. So they had this cool event at the Washington National Stadium, which I'm big into baseball stadiums. So it was a closed thing, and then you had like drinks and food there, and you could go walk on the field, go sit in the dugouts, hitting the batting cages in the dugout. So it was really cool. And then we go to get back on the buses, and I get on the bus, and I'm sitting there, and I'm feeling good. Yeah. And I get a text from Sean. He's like, "Where are you? We're going to this brewery. Get off the bus right now." So the bus starts to pull away. And I ran up to the front of the bus, and I'm like, stop. stop the bus. Stop it. The guy's like, okay. I'm like, I got to get off. So he lets me off, and there's this, it's an abandoned lot right on the river, right across the street from the stadium. And like the bathroom is an old shipping container with no lights or electricity. And it's just like urinals, but with no flowing water. I don't know. It's so bizarre. But it's just open in a field. So all like the brewing components are outdoors. All the seating's outdoors. Like so if it's not above like 60 degrees, they don't open.
It definitely looks just like a dirt lot.
Yeah, it's like a dirt lot surrounded by $1 million condos. So I don't know if this guy's like holding out until he gets like a huge price or what. And he's like, hey, let's brew some beer out here. So we go sit there. I mean, it was awesome, except for the mosquitoes. Like DC has the worst mosquitoes I don't know what it is, but
we have bad mosquitoes too.
Yeah. But like everywhere you go, and I understood we were by the river. That makes sense. But we went and hung out with Amy and Tim, who have a YouTube like Go for Less or Go with Less, and we went to their Airbnb, and we were like getting eaten alive. And I was like, I can't sit here any longer. Yeah, we got to go somewhere else. Like I can't sit here. So
okay, so I swear to God, my laptop is gonna die. So. Can somebody ask Mark a question so that he can explain it to you so that I can run to the other room? This is not supposed to be on a laptop. And don't look at my background.
Oh my goodness. Like, are you running? I guess she's running to go get a plug. I don't know. This is live, folks. This is what happens when you go live. Usually like behind the scenes when we do the Miles to Memories podcast, we do it live for the Patreon group, so they get to witness all this shenanigans that happen when things go bad. But yeah, there's no getting out of this one. But this is why it usually takes me and Bethany 2 hours to record a 1 hour episode.
Hi.
Let's talk about that lamp. Where's the flowers? Like ever since she saw Winnie's set that has like flowers, she usually like had flowers everywhere, but not this week.
Not this week. Because this week is the biggest disaster of my life.
Okay, so Sean says, tell them about the waitress at MGM National Harbor. So after we go to this brewery, Mark Jackson, who writes for Brad's Deals, was hanging out with us. Jeff, of course, had to go home to his wife and children. What a loser.
Too often. He's not one of those like, oh, I got to get back to my kids.
No, I think it was right after you guys' trip to, right after the, the trip. So he was like, I've been gone 2 weeks. I got to get home or I'm going to get murdered. We're like, cool. I understand. I was just messing with him. So Mark Jackson's like, I want to go gamble. So we go gamble. We go eat there and stuff. And Sean likes to bring up like the two people he's ever witnessed that like despise me. Except for this lady didn't despise me. Like I was making jokes with her and she's like, oh, he's like, she's talking about you right now. She's over there talking to the guy how much she hates you.
Sean loves it when people don't like Mark because he's so likable.
But no, like the waitress or the bartender in Chicago at the Chicago seminar, she definitely did not like me. So I give him credit for that one. There was one bartender that liked me a lot, and the other bartender like was not having any of it. Like I was trying to like joke with her and stuff. And she was like, "Go away."
Yes, Rick. This is bougie, whether I'm here or not. She didn't like you. So the year before in Chicago, I didn't realize how So I know I'm a good tipper. Because I actually get emails from Uber saying like you're the top 1% of tippers, and I'm like I'm tipping way too much apparently.
That's like a thing.
Yeah, like I apparently spend way too much money on tips. I used to be a waitress, so for me it's I'm like okay, if I can give you a tip, I want to like tip you. But I'm also the type who like if I have to ask you for something like more than 3 times, it's going down. So you know it's a scale. Anyway, so yeah.
Take it. Time out. Have you ever walked up? Like, was service ever so bad that you left 0 tip?
So I didn't leave 0, but I left, and this happened one time at the Cheesecake Factory. I left just enough to cover what I thought her tip out would be. So when you're a server,
like,
who doesn't know, you have to tip out sometimes, like the busboys, the bartenders, sometimes like the line people.
Yeah.
And so I left like $4 maybe, and I would have normally left like 15 or 20.
now, if I don't know if Patrick, he was here early, Patrick Allen, but I don't know if he's here. But he was in New Orleans for the meetup, and he's a Detroit guy. And he went. There was 4 people from Detroit that went to dinner the night that I like passed out finally with the whole Brandon episode. But so they went out to dinner, and I guess this waitress was like super rude. I'm like, she must have like, you must remind her of an ex or something, because there was 4 people, and she would he's like, hey, do you guys have any extra like ketchup or whatever? And she was like, I guess, and stuff, and like, which was nice to everybody else except for him. And like, but you remember, like, I don't know what it is with New Orleans, with the one we were eating dinner, and she's like, does anybody else need any condiments? Because I have to go all the way downstairs to get those.
That was how screwed up Mark was. That was the night I was there, not with the Detroit people.
No, I'm saying that's a thing in like New Orleans. Like, he ran into the same thing. She's like, oh, you want something else? And so there was like 2 or 3 different like situations where this happened. So on the bill, all he wrote was, you should be nicer.
Oh my God. Like that. I feel like that's fair. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. It was like, and everybody, I talked to all of them, and everybody's like, yeah, it was bizarre. Like, she'd be like, oh yeah, no problem. And he was like, hey, can we split up the bills, between 2? And she was like, or somebody else asked for it. And she looked at him and was like, I guess, even though he didn't even ask this. It was like one of the other people.
Yeah, he definitely reminded her of somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody who scorned her at some point in life. I thought that was like super rude of it must be a thing in New Orleans where they don't care too much about like service, because I think we had that situation a few times. Although I have to say, what was the bar that we went to the first night where Ian was drinking the White Claws?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it's called. It's right off of Fremont Street, and it's got like and I love it because it's got like an outdoor patio bar.
Yeah,
which is like one of the
bartender was so nice, and I was not expecting it at all, because she just didn't seem like she was going to be very nice.
No, that's
ordering White Claws, So
that's why I love that place, because like it's at the very end of Frenchman, like at the very southern end, and they have like a jazz bar or whatever attached to it, but it's like this tiny little patio, and you can still hear the music. But they have a back bar for like basically just a patio. So there's like 8 people out there tops, and you have like a whole bar to yourself that you can go up and get drinks.
Yeah, that was really
cool. They have Jenga. They have 2 TVs. So we watched like March Madness out there before, and Ryan like had old people leaving because he was freaking out about Florida losing when we were there once. But it's like my favorite place on Frenchman because it's really chill. You can still hear the jazz music. Once once we're done, I'll try to track it down and post it in the comments. But that patio bar is cool. And then if you don't have to fight people to get drinks, which you have to do like when you get into bars, whenever we can be in bars again and have fun.
Yep. Yeah, there was nobody there at all. Like, but when I walked in, I was like, oh no, this is going to be such a crap show. I'm so glad I didn't say that word. I was like, this is going to be such a crap show because it's like a disaster. It was so busy. And then we walked back there, and it was like literally like you had your own like private party room.
Yeah.
Freaking
Spencer. Dumb. Is that Spencer?
Lucky, go. Bye.
So Mike asked, how is everyone dealing with the travel advisories and quarantines? From New York, you can't hardly go anywhere.
I haven't even tried because.
Now, did you ever do the Hamptons thing or whatever? Did you ever go to that?
So we're gonna book it probably like in a few weeks. Topping Rose in the Hamptons is an SLH property, so it's available through Hyatt for 40,000 Hyatt points, and it's easily the nicest place in the Hamptons to stay, regardless points or not. It's like $3,000 a night, but it's only available Sunday through Thursday, and so yeah, we're definitely gonna book it. But I figured since it's still like hot and it's still nice out, why not wait until we maybe don't have to like schedule the pool? Because I've heard people say we have to like reserve time slots for the pool and stuff, and I just don't want to do that. You know?
Yeah, and then I mean, if you're going during the week, like in September, it should be pretty dead, I would imagine. Now,
Yeah.
cool story. Like Rick Boom, he went to with his kids to like a Hyatt place or something in, I think, Oregon, or I don't even know, but place doesn't matter.
Oregon, same thing.
But this is the cool thing, like where they let you reserve it. Like he reserved the pool for 45 minutes, just him and his kids.
That's really fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, and then nobody had it reserved after them, so they ended up getting like an hour and a half or whatever. So I think for indoor pools, it makes sense. Like, I think they should do that versus not having.
Who goes to indoor pools? Somebody please tell me.
People that live in Oregon where it's always 70 degrees.
I in Oregon. Okay, so wait,
it's not like you're going to the beach in Eugene. It's like 70 degrees out. Come on. You go to where the Goonie? Did you go to the Goonie Rocks, Rick? I hope you did. I think they're I just imagine all of Oregon is nice or close to the Goonie Rocks, but I was actually born in Portland, like down the road from where PDX was born.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. How long did you stay there? Very long, I guess.
No, I was born in Portland, and then we moved. When I was 2, we moved back to Michigan, and then in kindergarten we moved to New Jersey, and then in 4th grade we moved back to Michigan. So.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you consider yourself an East Coaster.
Yeah, I mean that's like my formative years from like kindergarten to 4th grade or whatever. So. But yeah, East Coast. I got that Jersey stank on me.
No. You have no Jersey anything on you. Sorry, Jersey people.
So I went back to Jersey for a wedding, buddy, who ended up going to, because I went to a private school or whatever, and he dormed. He came from Jersey and dormed there. So we became good friends.
You dormed there too?
I dormed there for 2 years, and then I had my own apartment for 2 years. So
in school.
We can get into the apartment story in a minute because I've like hinted at it but never sold it. So we grew up like a town apart, and then we ended up meeting in high school and stuff. And then when he got married, I went back out to Jersey. It was like 2-3 years ago. I went back out to Jersey, and everything looked exactly the same. Like they had not touched anything.
That's not
like everything I remember from like 1992. It looks exactly the same. I was like, man, and Jersey's not cheap. It's expensive, and my dad worked in Newark, but we had to move to Jersey. Like, yeah, he had meetings in like New York all the time and stuff, but we had to move like an hour and a half away from the city just to be able to afford it back then, and that was like the 90s.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't gotten any cheaper, but they haven't updated anything. Like,
yeah.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. So, okay. So high school story.
TFB is here. Influencer time.
Oh, we're going to steal one of Travel.
He said, it's Bethany in the third wheel of the Miles to Memories podcast.
Oh, that review was amazing. I loved it. I love that they spelled my name right.
Oh my God.
Joe gets 5 stars. Sean, 5 stars. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't give me 1 star. I mean, he didn't have anything nice to say, so
he took stars away from you, which was so sad.
He gave me a pity extra star. I got 2 stars. 1 star for pittiness. But he spelled my last name. Nobody spells my last name right. Nobody says it right.
I know that. I always have to look.
Nobody says it right or spells it right. And the dude took the time. He hated me so much that he took the time to look up that it's 2 S's.
Those are the best audience members, because I mean it doesn't matter as long as you have interaction, you know.
He's probably watching this just so he can hate on this as well. It wasn't my fault that Bethany's computer plug died. So
oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, and by the way, 44 minutes after halftime, everyone subscribe and thumbs up, please.
I saw that and I just started laughing. I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was great too. At least you said my last name right. Spell my last name right.
It was my review. I thought Han might virtually fight him because he always compliments me on my laugh, and this guy was like, "You laugh like a maniac, and I can't stand it."
Sean says I get 5 stars for the live stream. Even if I only got 4, it'd be okay because I left. So
Only rocking a 3 so far. Oh boy, I got work to do. No, but we're definitely stealing one of Adam's thing in a future thing because he did a tweet like, "Are you east side or west side of the Strip in Vegas?" And I think that's a good argument to have. So we're gonna steal that. Maybe Adam, we're gonna be having guests on the podcast, so we definitely have you on the list if you're interested. So maybe we'll have that discussion at that
He's
time.
very busy, but he can probably make time for you guys.
Busy.
I guess.
Yeah. Busy trying on new Arby's hats or what?
Well, he has a new T-shirt too, which everybody should buy. It's for charity. It's actually, so the first T-shirt is like one of my favorites. Above that, because it's so soft. Usually that would come out in editing, but it's not going to. So.
Okay, don't let me forget that I have the perfect thing after the story of ripping on you with Adam's T-shirts.
Oh, me and my selfies.
Okay, so finish your story.
So anyway, you should all buy a T-shirt because they're for charity and they're really soft. And even though I requested a woman's version, I didn't get it, but I still bought 2 anyway. So you got to be cool, be an influencer, get one. Yeah, go ahead, tell my embarrassing story.
It said influencer, right? Your T-shirt they got. It was like a couple years ago. So Bethany like posted this picture. I don't know if it was on Twitter or what. Of like a selfie of her wearing it. And she's like, "I love this shirt." And PDX Deals guy noticed because she did a screenshot of it or something instead of just using the picture like Bethany does. And it had like a stream of like 47 pictures of her wearing the T-shirt because she took so many selfies until it looked okay.
So the official story is that I liked all the pictures so much that I couldn't choose.
So nobody knows this, but PDX Deals guy's like, "Holy selfies."
And you know what's funny is that Samantha, his wife, said, "Don't say that, you're going to get in trouble." She didn't know at the time that I take everything like as a joke, but yeah.
But it was so funny. Oh my God, it was.
This time, I'm just gonna post all 47 of them.
There you go. Just do like a collage. Yeah. Oh, let's talk about your picture of you now. Was that like an old picture of you drinking champagne, or did you guys go out to dinner recently, or what?
No, yeah, that was recent. Yeah.
Okay. So you posted a picture on Facebook of you drinking champagne, and then this random, I'm guessing it's a dude, but this random dude did like 47 different gifs of how much he liked your page.
So many, like, to the point where it's like not even a compliment anymore. It's like, all right, I get it, dude. Like, I'm beautiful. I already know that. Like, let's move on. Tell me about my personality.
Oh, so it was like you created a fake account just so you could tell yourself you're beautiful 47 times.
Okay. I'm definitely going to do that now.
Oh, I have to create a new Apple podcast account so I can say Osterman's the best on the most of every spot.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea, really, but like I would
bring my 2-star. I got to bring my 2-star up to a 3.5 at least, be like a passing.
I would just be like, wow, this girl is really smart and beautiful. I would go smart first. That's how you'll know it's me. Because I like to pretend that I care more about personality than looks.
Oh man, what else were we? There was one other thing. Oh, you wanted to talk about Caesars doing work from home in Vegas, which is basically a ripoff of MGM's thing.
Yeah. So like, which one? So if you were going to actually, if Sean is still here, I don't want to call him out if he's not. But I'm curious if anybody would actually be interested in this. Like, would you work from home from a hotel? And would you really be working? I mean, that's kind of my thing, right? Like if I go to Vegas and I'm in Vegas and like supposed to be working, I'm not going to be working. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
At the pool, drinking or eating or obviously gambling, doing whatever you're supposed to do in Vegas. So like, I'm just wondering why they're pumping it so hard. Because like Hyatt is doing it too, but I can see it from Hyatt's perspective because like for my situation, my P2 has to work a 9 to 5. I don't. So he said, yeah, sure, we can go somewhere as long as it's like same time zone.
Yeah.
Or, you know, something like comparable. I could see it in that situation, but like, we're not going to go to Vegas to do that. Like, I was thinking like Maldives or like somewhere where I could just like lay out and he can work.
I think, I mean, I would assume it's more targeted at like the like California people or like Vegas vicinity people, like
Yep.
somebody that can drive there. I'm guessing. I don't think many people are going to like fly to do this.
Right.
I did a breakdown of the MGM one. I haven't looked at the Caesar stuff, but MGM, it did come out like a little bit better if you max out like all the stuff. Like the room rate was actually about the same, maybe a little bit better. So you could even do that, and then you're getting the food comps and stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah, so you come out. Wait, Mike says, I think some people need to get away from families. I even saw it in Syracuse from Holiday Inn to do it.
That's why I was so happy my kids went back to school, because I was just like, you gotta get out of here. Like I'm tired. I can't do that anymore. I thought I'd be way more productive this week, and I was just like, oh, I hope Sean's not still here. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna bust this out quick, and then I'm gonna watch Netflix because I'm gonna take these 3 days to myself. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are for me.
That's like, I mean, listen, you take care of those kids all summer. Like
6 months. Oh.
That just reminded me of Pam's comment. So My Memories has some fun commenters, and crap, this is live, right? So I can't even. So there was once a comment that
basically called me a crappy husband and father.
Yeah. And I just said to Mark, like, oh, you take care of the kids. I didn't mean it like.
Yeah, so yeah, there was that. But comments are always fun. They're always interesting.
I love comments. So I finally got my first hater when I did the Award Travel 101, the AT 101. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's like a chat on Sundays with all the big travel influencers like myself. And basically I did like 2 hours with Joseph. And, you know, that seems like a long time, but it actually went really quickly, and everybody should watch those because they're awesome. Greg was on it before me. Gilbert was on it before me, and then me. And what was I saying? Yeah, so I got my first hater, and I was so excited, except that the guy said I said I didn't know what I was talking about, which, if you know, there's one way to offend me. Well, two. Call me ugly or call me stupid.
Hey, that's what my 2-star review said. I bring nothing unique, and I just nothing interesting. So we're right there together. All right, Mike said, if I lived in Jersey, I'd do it from Borgata or Hard Rock, the one that you left because you said it wasn't very nice.
Sorry.
Actually, the casino. I didn't. We went to Hard Rock for the status match, and I liked the casino. I didn't go to the rooms at all, and we never used our because you get like a free.
Oh,
you get like.
You don't want to go. No, you don't want to go
to the lounge, the free lounge or whatever. It's bad. Oh.
It's the worst buffet I ever had in Atlantic City. I don't know how many I've had, to be honest. I think it might only be like, Borgata's my place. Hi, champ.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I was really excited for Atlantic City. I really wanted to like it. It has everything I want, like a beach. It has, an ocean. It has a boardwalk. It has casinos. Should have dining.
Has homeless people.
And we went, and this was another one we left early. We went for the first night, and we're like, oh, this place sucks so bad.
Wait, where were you? Didn't go to Borgata?
No, we did Borgata, the stats match, and we went and we did. But like, Borgato's nice, but I don't want to go and just like sit in I could just go to a Detroit casino. Like we have an MGM here that's really nice. Like I could just do that. I'm not going to go to Atlantic City, just sit, and it's not even on the beach. It's in the bay or marina or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, Borgata is beautiful, but Atlantic City as a whole is just sucks. So we ended up leaving. We were supposed to stay 2 nights. After the first night, we checked out and we drove back and ended up staying in Philly. And I love, like, we spent 1 night in Philly, and I love Philly. Philly is like unexpected. You know, I knew there was a lot of the historical things, but like just like a very cool. I put it like if Boston and New York had a baby, it would be Philly, like a bastard child. Like, because it's a little bit smaller feel like Boston, where downtown Boston's kind of smaller. But it has a lot of variety in like architecture and stuff like New York. And then history as well, you know, Liberty Bell and all that stuff. So it's got like everything you want, but not as crazy as New York, and it doesn't smell like garbage everywhere you walk. So
so Lawanda invited me to go to the Four Seasons there. I don't know if Lawanda's still here, but Four Seasons there around Christmas. So I might actually do that because I've been to Philly once, but it was like just transiting through, not like driving through, but we stopped at the airport and just like got a car. So I don't know if that counts. And then I was like, we should get a cheesesteak while we're here, but I don't even like cheesesteaks. So
I was like, when we were in Boston, we're like, we should get a lobster roll. And we got busy. We didn't ever get it. We ended up like, we got so bored downtown Boston because there's not a lot downtown. I mean, I know the neighborhoods have a lot to offer. Like if you go to not Wrigleyville, like by Red Sox Stadium and stuff, like all these unique little areas. But we had a layover. We had like a 6 or 7 hour layover before we went to Dublin. So we're like, all right, let's take the water taxi over, which was cool. We took a bus.
You love like outdoor, like very kind of.
I love water stuff, like anything water. So we took the water taxi from the airport over, walked around downtown, you know, did the trail and all that. And then after like 3 hours, like, okay, so like, what do we do?
What do we do now? And
so we ended up
really early too, I think.
We ended up going to the Hyatt, like, back. We took the water taxi back like 3 hours early and rented a date. We did a day rate for like $75 at the Hyatt, which the Hyatt Harbor, whatever it's called, is actually pretty nice.
It looks nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And you can do the water taxi across the town. I mean, it's not convenient because you're across the bay or whatever you want to call it, river. I don't know what it is. So it's not super convenient, but we did that and we took like a nap before we got on our plane. So then we went to the airport because, I mean, it worked out well because we wanted to kind of experience. It was Kirsten's first time in lie flat, so she wanted to experience it. We got 20-year reserve Jameson, which is her favorite, so amazing. All that stuff. But
you should definitely, like, if you're not doing anything special wherever you are and you're flying first or business home, go to the airport.
Yeah.
Just get to the airport. So we might have a place. So we had one question. We're going to get cut off in 2.5 minutes, but maybe we can answer it. It was from Champ. He said,
co-branded
credit cards and airline cards do you have? Are you canceling or applying for anytime soon? I'm not applying for any airline cards anytime soon unless they come out with an amazing offer. And I think we both have like every hotel credit card, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got Choice, so.
Hard to even have Choice. And I heard he's getting the Best Western one too.
No, like I've always been a huge fan of the Hilton cards, but since Amex has been playing games with the 12 times payouts, and I just used it for the small business offer where I spent like $80 and the points would have been $300 and some dollars. They didn't even pay me those. So I'm done with
my credit, and it's been now 11 weeks. They keep saying anytime between 8 and 12 weeks. I'm like, okay, so I'll just message you back again in 3 weeks. So I keep doing it like once every 2 weeks, and because the first time they did it, my card member anniversary was right in between the time period, so I should have gotten 2, but it looks like they're playing games. So, all right, we're going to get cut off. Mark, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much for coming.
And give me 3. At least give me 3 stars, people.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody, tell us how many stars Mark gets. And don't forget that he covered for the host for like a whole minute.
That gets me another quarter star, 3.25 stars.
At least. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
Thanks, everybody.